You must be careful about the words you use, or the words you allow to be used in your house. Words are things. You must be careful. Careful about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. Don't do that.
It's time to talk about it.
Pull up a chair and take a seat.
We're serving up recipes for life.
With Hampton University's Dr. Richard Mason and Dr. Tamara Williams.
Welcome to the Sunday Brunch.
This is Dr. Tamara Williams.
And this is Dr. Richard Mason. And welcome back to the table for another edition of Sunday Brunch with the Good Doctors.
Yeah.
How are you doing, my sister?
I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing very well, actually. Taking in this good sun. This is my time of year.
You can have it.
Well, I know. I didn't say stay in it forever, but I do enjoy it. It's not your thing.
This heat.
You were not born this time of year either, so this is not your thing. But I was like, so this is my thing.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful?
Disrespectful. That's all.
I find it heightens my melanin. I love it. I'm happy this time of year.
Well, I mean, you need the vitamin D.
Yeah.
But you can also take over the counter, get your prescription for vitamin D as well,
It's a lot safer, too.
Yeah, and it's just hot. That's the only thing. It's just hot. Yeah. I always say, I like the wintertime because you can always put on more clothes. But you can, in the summertime, you take off everything. You're just hot.
Yeah.
You can't. You just can't function. You know what I mean? And you're just miserable. And people, because good morning, don't talk to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad it's not early.
Exactly.
And with us having this Sunday brunch and not
man.
Sunday
and I like
morning.
to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you get to eat and you're hot, you can't really focus on your food while you're trying to wipe sweat and everything. And I got big boy issues. And a bald head, so you just can't get away with just not being
they
hot.
Have things for those things, hats. And fans, and I don't like to eat outside, so we do agree on that. I don't like to share my food with the bugs.
Flies everywhere.
None of that. I don't like. And it is hot outside. It's too hot to eat. So, I don't typically eat.
Just miserable.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just miserable.
I'm so sorry. We're twins, but we're not, and we're not the same in that regard. We're opposites in that. I love it. The beach can't see me enough.
Now here we go. There's a difference now. If I didn't have to go to work and I could just be on a beach somewhere, because you have your beach atmosphere, you have on your beach clothes, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, you can cool yourself off a little bit, and it's okay.
Okay.
You can have your beach beverages. That's what we're going to call them today.
Okay.
Your beach beverages.
Okay.
All right?
And don't forget the water, like we learned.
Yeah, exactly. So you can have those things, and it's good.
Yeah.
But when you have to go to work,
right.
You have to go outside and come back inside with a shirt and a bow tie on.
See, ain't nobody tell you to do all of that.
Yeah. Now, I just can't come here with swimming trunks on to work. You know what I mean?
You cannot.
No, they would look at me like, there's a problem.
Somebody tell the emperor he's naked. Somebody let him know. Either way, bro, it is very good to see you back on the show today. And it's always a good time. We can talk about anything, anytime. It's always good to be seen and not viewed. So
exactly.
I'm glad that we're having our conversation. And I'm excited about today's conversation. Oh,
yes.
Because it's something different. It's something that we don't typically get to talk about, but it's something I think, as always, necessary. We'd like to have the male issues, but we also try to tap into a lot of the female issues, which become male issues.
Exactly. Because y'all issues somehow work their way on into
men
our
come
world.
from women. I'm just trying to say, at some point in time.
Jesus.
If it ain't right, it ain't right. So we all need to work together. So it's good to have a good understanding. And then, for those who have wives and they're having kids, they need, to... When we know better, we can do better. Well, or at least we should.
Or significant others.
Yeah.
And those things.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to fix my plate. I'm going to fix my plate.
And I'm going to introduce the guests because I know, I can only imagine if people could just see your face today, the topics that we're going to be talking about today. This is really not a food topic. It's not a food topic. However, It is a family topic, so
Yes, it is.
we have to have this conversation. So I want to welcome to the table Nataki Hill. Nataki is a doula, and
Yes,
so
I
today
am.
we're definitely going to be talking about some of those women health issues and things that happen when we're our closest to death, essentially. When you're at
Yes.
birth,
That's a true statement.
it's a rough situation. I know
That's the truth.
there's some gentlemen at the table who have been in some birthing rooms, and
Yes, yeah.
oh, Father God,
It's serious.
It's some serious things happening there.
It's
So
serious.
there's different ways that people can birth, and I know that in the African American community, when it comes to women, there's a large health disparity and things that happen. We lose our lives giving babies more frequently than others.
Yes, we
For
do.
so many different reasons. So I'm excited to have this conversation
Yes,
today.
yes.
Me
Welcome to
too.
the table.
Thank
Welcome to the
you.
table.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as she said, my name is Nataki Hill. I am a doula. I have been a certified state doula for almost 2 years now, I think. But I have been doing doula work unknowingly since I was 10,
Okay.
when I helped to usher my little sister into the world.
Okay.
And so I've just taken off from there. And a couple of years ago, Birth and Color were looking to have doulas. It's a doula collective that started out of Richmond. And my best friend said, "This is you." And at that time, I was like, "What is a doula?"
Yeah.
And I
was going to
Let's
say,
start there.
right, exactly.
Let's start there.
Let our
What
people
kind
know
of
what
word is that?
Right. Let them know what a doula is.
It
you know?
actually means with woman. So that's actually what it breaks down to, is with woman.
With woman.
With woman. So we are with the woman as they're bringing these beautiful souls into planet Earth. But what we do is we get to know them beforehand. Because we need them to trust us in the delivery room.
Because you don't just invite everybody and everybody into the delivery room.
You do not. And
You
that's
don't belong in there.
everyone does not.
Right.
And one of the first things I tell my clients is be real selective of who you want in your delivery room and make sure that they know what you want. Because the difference between a doula and a support team, which is their family, is they love you. I don't. I like you. I care for you. But when I see you having labor pains, they want it to just stop. Whether that be C-section, whether that be an epidural, whether that be medication, they just want their loved one out of pain. But I've talked to them, and they told me the kind of birth that they want. And right now, a lot of people want unmedicated births.
Okay,
Unmedicated
so I have to,
vaginal
hold on,
births.
Hold on, Nataki.
Go
Hold
ahead.
on. Hold on. So you telling me the woman can be in the hospital like this is it right here. And then because she said to you, like, remember? You said you did. I don't. So you're going to remind her in that moment.
I'm going to remind her nicely.
While she's saying, somebody come cut this baby out. You can like, remember we talked yesterday?
Well, see, that's the importance of me getting to know you early, because I'm sitting down with you. I'm teaching you breathing techniques. I'm teaching you comfort measures to make yourself more comfortable. And I'm getting to know your stopping point. Right? So if I know your stopping point is you yelling at me, okay, all right. But like, I had one client that told me, listen, I'm a drama queen. I want you there because I want to come out alive. But I want an epidural, okay? I don't even want to feel labor. And then I have other ones, and that's fine.
Oh, okay.
And that's fine. And I have people that tell me, I want a natural birth. And I ask them, what is natural to you? Because what's natural to one person is not natural to another one. They might say, I want a natural birth, but I want nitrous oxide, which is laughing gas. Or they say, I want some kind of narcotic, which would usually be Nubain or Stadol. And some say, I just want an epidural, but they say they consider natural coming out vaginally. And other people consider natural as unmedicated coming out vaginally.
So you're more like an advocate.
I'm a definite advocate.
Okay.
I'm a definite advocate for the woman, but I also get to know the support team that's going to be in there with them, so that they also know me and they know where I'm coming from of this is what she wanted. That's why it's important for her to let them know. Oh, I should say the birther. Okay, I should say the birther. It's important for the birther to let their family know their wishes in birth. And if they have overbearing family members, don't let them in. Because I have had to kick. Hey, I've had to kick mothers out. I've had to switch doctors. We can't work with you. You're not listening.
See, doula sounds like the term for just a mean coach. That's what it sounds like.
No, don't get it like that. No. I am your first line of defense.
You ain't kidding.
I'm not kidding. I'm
She
your
is
first
the front line. You hear me?
I'm
She's
your
like, come through here if you want to.
Yes, because I need her comfortable. Because
It's not comfortable.
labor has the correct name. It's pain, and so I
I'm
need
uncomfortable
you
right now.
comfortable, right?
But that just sounds like something for birth control, one and done. Because, you just go
I've
through.
had those.
Yeah.
But you know what? Once they get that baby in their hands and that oxytocin is coming out, that love hormone, they're like, oh, I can do this again. I was one and done, okay?
All right.
All three of us at this stage.
I was one and done, okay? I was one and done, but
She gives me life and death all at the same time.
all I
need.
But we're needed, especially
Yeah.
in the African American or the Black community, because we're not listened to. We're not listened to, and so I've seen it because I've had white clients and I've had Black clients. White clients, the major difference is that they're listened to, so they can say, "I'm in pain," and they're offering them all kinds of things. And even after having the baby, they're sending them home with prescriptions for pain. A Black woman can have pain and say she's in pain and see it in her face, and they say, "Oh, you're just uncomfortable." No, she's in pain. She's telling you, look at her. Her blood pressure is rising. What do you mean she's in pain? Or like with things like preeclampsia, high blood pressure. Oh, it's not nothing. It's going to go down. No, find out why her blood pressure is high. Find out why she's swelling. Like I was in the recovery room with a client, and the nurses, I'm telling them, my client is declining. No, she's not. No, she's declining.
So you stay with them even after?
Yes.
Okay.
Because after you deliver the baby, you have to deliver the placenta, and then we have to make sure that the uterus is going back down. And so we're looking for hemorrhaging. We're looking for you declining. Like, we just looking at all kinds of things. And what I could tell was that she just looked blah, like just tired, and she was not. She was talking at first. Yeah, I'm so happy. Then, yeah, I'm fine. No, and that's what I saw was her declining, and she ended up. She was internally hemorrhaging, so she had to have 2 units of blood. She had to have medications via mouth, inserted anally, and IV to stop her from bleeding. But they telling me she's not declining.
So let me back
That's
up a
why
minute.
we there.
So as a doula, do you do home births or everything?
We do everything. We do home births, but we do not do unassisted home births, meaning that a midwife has to be there with us.
Okay, so now that's a word I've heard before, midwife. So what's the difference between a midwife and a doula?
A midwife is a medical professional. They have went to school and got all the license. You have to be licensed in Virginia. So most of them are nurses that specialize in birth.
As a midwife?
As a midwife.
Okay, so maybe a labor and delivery nurse decides she's going to branch off into a specialty
Yes.
and become a midwife.
That's midwifery, yes.
Okay, so that person can actually be at home. If someone says, I want to have my baby in the bathtub or a pool in the middle, put a water pool in the middle
Pool
of my...
births are beautiful, by the way. Yes, they are.
See,
I'm not prepared.
y'all, I'm going to just keep eating my grits because I'm going to tell you right now.
And they're so much easier on the
I can't even
mother.
open my eyes right now.
They're so much easier on a mother. That water, that buoyancy, and just being home or being in the birthing center. I love water births. I love them. That's my favorite birth of all time.
It's not my
It's
ministry.
water
Mercy,
birth.
cousins, do y'all hear this?
This is not my ministry, Lord. But I'm glad we have you at the table because this is somebody's. And in the thought, some people don't know they have an option. And I remember I've lost several babies. I almost died giving birth to my daughter. And it was not the most pleasant experience, which is the reason why I only have one.
Okay.
Because I
understand.
It was not pleasant for me, and I was slipping out. People were not paying attention to the symptoms. They were
And
not
see, that's
responding
it.
to those things.
That's
and so
it.
I know it happens to Black women in hospitals.
And it does not matter your social class either.
No, no.
Because, take Beyonce, take Serena Williams. How much richer you going to get and still be ignored, not listened to? So,
Yeah. Well, they don't think that we feel pain the same way or that we have a higher threshold. There's a lot of research
It's
out
a
there.
lot of research out there
about
that
that
says that.
specifically, or that we don't need certain medications, or that we don't respond well to those things.
It's a lot because
Or the narrative.
we were the guinea pigs. So they, when... How deep can I go? So when white men, took...
You see how she
wait a
looked
minute.
at you?
Let me go back.
Did I say that?
Look at me.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me take it back. When white women took midwifery from black women, because back in the day, it was the black women that were delivering everyone's babies. We were the wet nurses, meaning we were feeding everybody's babies. And we started getting paid because people were happy that their babies were here. Right? Everyone not racist. Happy our babies are here. So when white women saw that we were getting paid for it, they said, oh, we could take it and get paid for it and dismantle what they're doing. Right? Take a turn. White men saw that the white women were making money and stole it from them. And so this is when all this training and schooling came into effect. But we were the guinea pigs. So they were doing C-sections, all kind of operations on us unmedicated.
You said unmedicated.
Unmedicated. So getting cut.
When they were going through the training, you mean to become OBGYNs and surgeons and whatnot?
We
back
were
in the day.
black women were the guinea pigs.
So they got you.
So we were getting cut on with no medication. And so, and they're yelling, but they said, oh, they can take it. It's okay. But they used our pain tolerance to make medicine. So the white women wouldn't have to go through that pain. So a lot of medicine is based off of white women's tolerances and not ours. Because ours was done unmedicated. So yeah.
So there's some women who want to do the birthing process unmedicated.
Yes, because they don't want... A, they want to come out alive. So they want to be alert and know what's going on. And B, they don't want the babies to come out sleepy. And it's drugs medication that we give. Well, not we. So first, let me say that doulas are not medical professionals. We are support. We are advocates for the mothers. But because of what we do, because we work with doctors so closely, we have to know what they're talking about. Because have you ever went to the hospital, the doctor shot out all these initials, and you don't know what they're saying? We know what they're saying.
So let me ask. So do you go with now? Here I'm gonna tell my age in a minute. But do you go with the mothers to Lamaze classes and stuff like that, or do you teach them? Because I remember when my wife was pregnant, we went to Lamaze class, and shout out to Healthy Families. They had a program. We would go and eat, and they fed us so well, but we would go and eat and go through all of the different exercises and stuff like that or whatever. Now I will tell you, my wife was so busy socializing and talking to other people and everything else or whatever.
She was happy pregnant?
Listen, yes. And I told them, I said, let me tell you this. I said, we're going through all of this stuff. She's going to forget all of this stuff when she get into labor and delivery.
Because she's not paying attention, because she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And she in pain.
Right. I said, all I'm going to do, I said, I just need to pay attention to how far apart her contractions are. And when I know when it's coming, I'm going to take the tennis ball and hit her in the head. Boop. She's going to be so busy fussing with me, she's going to fuss right through that pain. I said, because y'all telling her, focus on the clock. Look at the clock.
You said you're going to hit my sister in the head with
a tennis ball. You know what I say? Tennis ball. Ask her. When you say ask her about that tennis ball during labor and delivery.
Oh my.
I told her,
Did you use it?
I told her I'm going to hit her in the head with the tennis ball. Boy. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to keep her mind off of things,
Well, and see, to answer your question, that depends on the birther. Yes. Like, I go to a lot of doctor's appointments. I go to a lot of classes, but Birth and Color themselves does offer different childbirth education classes or child education classes. So, yes, both.
Okay.
Yes, and.
All right. And so that's a good thing, because I was the folks who were with the Healthy Families program, they shared lots of information. I mean, we went through a whole lot of stuff. Like I said, I was paying attention.
Good.
Taking it in.
Yes, thank you.
Everything, had bags packed and
you
all.
had notes.
Listen, let me tell you something. When she went into labor, she woke me up in the middle of the night. She says, "Oh, I'm feeling labor pain." All right, I grabbed my stopwatch, because I had my stopwatch by the bed.
That's right.
Click.
Count them contractions.
All right, I told her, wake me up when you feel the next one.
I
went back to sleep. Okay, so she woke me up again, and it's like 20 minutes later, she woke me back up. I feel another one. Okay.
That's right.
Tell me again. So I paid attention, because I knew they said when you have these pains and they are consecutively 3 consecutive times, because they were 6 minutes apart, they said when you hit about 5 minutes, that's when you need to start making your way to the hospital, depending upon how close the hospital is.
Yep.
Okay.
You really weren't paying attention.
Yes.
Yes.
You ain't talking about it, because you got a grown man child now.
Exactly. And she thought I wasn't paying any attention to this stuff. So like I said, I knew she was so busy eating them chicken tenders and French fries and stuff, all the good stuff, because it was at the hospital. It was the Old Hampton General.
Don't do that.
Okay?
Oh,
yeah.
Don't tell me your age.
All right, I'm going to tell my age in a minute. But the Old Hampton General, good food over there.
Yes.
She was busy
and
eating the food,
bookstore.
but I was taking notes. You understand? And so I had also, so I could be a doula. Y'all hiring?
You could be a doula.
All right. All right. Now I ain't going in there with them, because the boy,
you can't be no doula.
I ain't going
But
in
there
there
are
with
male
them now.
doulas. There are male doulas. Shout out to the male doulas.
You cannot be a doula and not go in the room.
You gotta go in the room.
Listen, we got Zoom now. You know what I'm saying? So I think
no.
We can't Zoom.
No.
I tried. Okay, well, I'm not going to go in that profession now. Okay, I'm going to change my mind. But
That
you
could
know,
not be your
I
profession.
just think about it, though, because like I said, those were the things in terms of getting us to the hospital and everything. Had a phone tree, once we were leaving the hospital, there were people I called that, now y'all need to call the other people, because I'm moving.
That is called a birth plan.
See?
Y'all had a birth plan and didn't even know it.
Good
Yes.
birth plan.
Y'all called my wife until I knew what I was doing.
You do. And we can tell.
I was paying attention. I was paying attention.
We can tell.
Exactly.
You showed up to class.
You did good.
Exactly.
And showed out.
Good.
Showed up and
you
showed
were probably
out.
really supportive while she was going through those labor pains in the hospital room.
I was right there.
Yes.
But
Did you bring your tennis ball?
It was in my bag. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready. Be ye ever so ready. And I was ready. But I didn't have to use it, thankfully.
Okay.
But I do remember, as you talked about Stadol and epidural and stuff like that or whatever, I do remember those conversations, because by the time we actually got to the hospital, and the nurse started talking to us and everything else, whatever. There was a window of time that they told my wife that she could get an epidural. And of course, my wife was like, I don't want an epidural. That was her initial thing. She said she didn't want the
devil
epidural.
is a whole lot. Roll me
Right.
nuts.
Well, a lot of people don't know that epidural is not the only pain medication that you can receive either. They just go straight to epidural, and it's not.
Right. Yeah,
It's other
initially she
things
said
you
she
can
didn't
receive.
want one because the nurse had started talking to her about Stadol and all. And so what happened, her OBGYN had been up all night. He had delivered 5 babies already. And so his partner was stepping in.
That's good.
And that's who
good.
actually delivered.
That's good.
Delivered my son. And so he came in and began talking about the whole process and everything else or whatever, and was talking to her about the epidural and everything or whatever. So the nurse mentioned Stadol. So my wife said, well, sure, I'll try that. And I'm thinking to myself, nope, epidural. She's going to need an epidural. Well, she tried the Stadol and everything or whatever, felt nothing. Okay, her mindset was, I still feel these pains. This Stadol medication hasn't done one thing. So then she had that window of time, and she ended up being able, because the doctor said this is the last
It's
possible
time that
moment
they get
that you can
epidural.
actually get an epidural. And she looked at me. I said, girl, you better get the epidural. I'm going to tell you right now. Go and get it. All right?
You a good partner.
Go and get that epidural. All right?
But he knows her stopping point.
Yeah, exactly. That was it.
He knows her stopping point.
He knew he was about to get ugly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, get that epidural, just like I told her.
And you got sisters.
We're not going to talk about that. But, but that's the thing. You have, like I said, I knew them telling her, oh, in the labor and delivery room, you're going to have a clock on the wall. Find something on the wall. My wife is just as ADHD sometimes as she can be. How do I know? Because I am, okay? So the reality is, I know that, finding something to focus on wasn't it. And that was truly the case. My wife, because people are walking in and out of that labor and delivery room, she wanted to know, who is that? What is she doing? What is that machine
They have
for?
changed that a little.
Yes,
They have changed that a little. They're not as, especially when you have a doula. They come in to check, make sure the baby's heartbeat is there, make sure that your blood pressure is stable. But everything is on monitors now, technology, so they can see that outside, unless the baby moves out of the monitor. But they typically try to leave laboring women alone now, and just let their body work.
Well, they
Yeah,
So that's a
what
change.
they did to me, and I was highly
it's a
insulted.
change.
Why? Why? You go get somebody to get this baby out. I felt like my body was starting to reject that baby. And it was a lot. And I was in labor a long time. I went on Friday afternoon. And they don't feed you when you're in labor, So that was Friday,
Well,
Saturday,
they
Sunday.
starting to
She
change
didn't come
that, too.
until Monday night at 7:22 p.m.
That was a very
Friday,
long
Saturday,
time.
Sunday, Monday at night at 7:22 p.m.
Did you go into labor naturally?
No, they induced my labor.
Yeah, inductions are hard. I tell people that's not really what you want.
It was not of God, let me tell you.
Because of the medicine that
to
they
not
use.
eat, when you're accustomed being pregnant, you're eating every 2 hours, every 3 hours, and then to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So they're
and
trying to
Monday
starve
night.
the baby.
But they're
You worried
prepping
about
you
the
for a
baby, I was
C-section.
worried about me.
What? That's they.
I told them,
It was.
go get somebody to get this baby. And they told me, they said, well, the baby's fine. She's not in distress. I said,
But I
her mama
am.
is.
But I am.
Her mama is.
And they don't feed you so that if you have to have surgery, they want as little contents on your stomach as possible.
Now,
And that's why they
after I
do
delivered
that.
the baby,
They let you eat anything.
No, they told me I still should not eat. I told them the devil is a whole lot. I said, you better bring me some food. They said, no, man, well, we need you to wait a little bit longer. I looked at my husband. I said, let me tell you something. You married to me. You ain't married to nobody else. You go down there and you get me something to eat. He said, they said it's going to come back. I don't care if it all comes back. You go down there and get it down.
Were you heavily medicated? Like what?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night. 7:22 p.m. So therefore, I have one child.
Wow.
Induction is hard.
Yeah.
Okay, induction is hard. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm gonna get induced because I'm tired of carrying this baby."
Don't
I
do it.
really do tell my clients don't do that
Don't
because what
do
induction
it.
is doing is forcing your body into labor when it's not ready. That baby don't want to come out. Now, sometimes it is necessary to have an induction.
It's necessary.
Okay, it depends on your age. It depends on how the baby is going. No one is going to let you go past 42 weeks because your placenta starts to tire. It starts not to work as well, which is what feeds the baby. So, but different. Sometimes you do need to be induced, but if you are not being induced for a medical reason, I would tell you not to do it because your body's not ready, and your body shows you that it's not ready. And then they use Pitocin a lot.
Yes, Lord.
To and they rise it in increments of 2. And what Pitocin is artificial or synthetic oxytocin. And so the thing about Pitocin is it'll start your contractions back to back to back to back to back, and they won't stop. They'll cut the Pitocin off, you know. They'll cut it off, and they'll sometimes try to reset it with something like Tums, because Tums does something to reset. I don't know the medical word for it, but it will try to reset your body into tricking your oxytocin to come in on its own. And so what oxytocin does, and this is why people try to go natural, is, well, I should say unmedicated. What oxytocin does is it'll make your contractions come, but it's your body making it, and your body knows when it's in too much pain, and it'll cut itself off. Pitocin does not cut itself off. It doesn't hit the right brain receptor to cut off, but oxytocin cuts itself off. And so that's when you'll see ladies in labor, and they'll be like, oh, and then they'll just kind of fall asleep. That's oxytocin. That's letting them go to sleep. And you looking at me like, I didn't go to sleep.
Let me tell you,
Because
it was traumatic. It was traumatic.
It is traumatic.
It was a traumatic experience for me. And I know, like, you just...
I tell people, unless there is a medical reason, and ladies, a medical reason is not because I'm tired of being pregnant.
No,
it's not because my feet hurt.
Sure. Yes, for sure.
It's not because, I want my baby to be this astrological sign versus this one.
No.
Or we going on vacation. That's not.
Or the holidays are coming up.
The
and I wanna be
holidays
able
are
to
coming.
eat.
Yes,
people
no.
do a lot of things.
No. And a medical reason for induction is the baby is not tolerating pregnancy well. You are not tolerating pregnancy well. But your doctor will let you know that because you're going to your doctor's appointments, please. And you're having anatomy scans. You're having NSTs done. So make sure it's a medical reason.
It definitely was a medical reason. I'm high risk because you always think about age too. A lot of women don't know that, but like as you get older, you have
geriatric
more risk,
pregnancy. Yes,
more risk, and when you lose babies, if you are high risk, also
yes, you have risk automatically.
Automatically, and so you always have to get monitored. So I was highly monitored. Went in there on a Friday afternoon, minding my good business, and he said, "Go on in," and I was like, "Oh, he's just gonna get checked out. It's not gonna be a big deal." So had I known that I was gonna have to stay, I would have ate before I went in. I would have brought food with me.
And you know, that's a thing that we tell people too. For real, we tell people. I tell people, labor at home until you are at that 511 point, which is your contractions are 5 minutes apart, lasting for at least 1 minute for at least an hour, because it's forming that pattern, right? And when you go into the hospital, you're probably 4 to 6 centimeters dilated by that time, just because of that pattern has formed. And we tell you, eat at home. That's why we tell you to labor at home, so that you can eat, because
labor at home and eat, ladies.
Yeah, labor at home and
I was
eat.
hungry.
And eat. And I tell people, labor is a marathon. Don't eat fried chicken, but eat because you don't want to. Hey, labor could make you vomit sometimes.
Okay.
So I tell you to eat like you're training for a sport.
Hey, bacon.
not bacon.
That's what we love.
Not bacon,
Everything
but
tastes better with bacon.
okay. How about this?
How was labor? Oh, it was good.
Baked.
I got my bacon.
Nah,
Baked.
you understand?
BAKED.
Listen, I might mess around and
eat
have
some
another
baked
baby give me
chicken.
some bacon.
Eat baked chicken instead of
Some
fried
bacon in the labor
chicken.
room for you, like, let's bring it on.
Eat some fruit. Drink water.
Yeah, for sure.
Eat fruit. Drink water. Eat your vegetables. Eat like the little granola bars. Like eat like you're training for a sport. You're not gonna, as my son used to call it. My son ran track. Butt lock. No track runner is gonna eat fried chicken and then go out and run a track beat. They gonna die right in the middle, like they just and get what they call butt lock. And it's like just the worst.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So just but do eat. I do want you to eat.
Yes, because all they were offering was popsicles.
Yeah. What the popsicle gonna do? And ice chips.
It did nothing but make me angry.
And that's what it does.
So
That's what
day
it does.
1, day 2, by day 3, day 4. Woo!
I do tell my clients to take food in with them that does not smell, and I tell their support team take food because I tell them to pack a bag of food, that does not smell, and especially the support team. Do not come in there with Captain D's. No, you go in there with something that don't smell because she's probably not eating. Her sense of smell is heightened, so anything can make her nauseous. And then she's gonna be mad because she's like,
"How dare you come up
in
in here
eating? You get kicked out." Like,
But bacon doesn't make you nauseous, though.
it can. Listen,
I ain't never had it.
I had a client. She was fine. She was happy-go-lucky. Her husband came in there with some coffee. And she drinks coffee every day, right? But in labor, she spilled that coffee and said, "What is that? Where did you go get that out of the street? Did it come out of the gutter? Get it?" I said, "Get that out of here."
He could have came in there with anything. She won't feel it at that moment.
Right. Exactly. I think she was just
Who
mad at
is
him.
this? Right.
She
Look what
was
you did
so
to me.
upset about that coffee. She
Yes,
said,
indeed.
"It stinks to high heavens. Like,
Yeah.
please get that coffee." I said, "Sir, you got to take the coffee out." So even with essential oils, people take essential oils in, and I let them smell them out of the bottle first before I put them in the water. Because in the bottle, they could tell me, "Ooh," or yes. Because once you put it in that water and it start going around, then it's in.
So you put like scents and stuff in the rooms while they're having. Okay, you're setting like the mood. So you have like
we're setting the
music,
ambiance, the zen. I tell them to make 2 playlists. One is like your upbeat, "Ooh, I can do this," and then your second one is that focus, like that kind of jazz gospel, just to get you through. Because when a lady first goes in, she's talking, she's good, she's like, she playing with you. I have you walking around, I have you doing curb walking, we bouncing on the yoga ball, we doing all kinds of exercises. That's what a doula does too. Is we do all kind of exercises to bring the baby down. Okay, because you have to dilate, you have to efface, and your stations also have to come down. So your stations are, when people say, "Ooh, your baby has dropped," that's just your stations. So you start out at -3, right? I need you to crown in, which is in the positive. So I need you to come down, and what the stations do is line up with your pelvis, the nodules in your pelvis. So the baby has to come down each nodule, right? And so we're bringing down your stations because I have learned you could be 9-10 centimeters dilated. If your station is not right, that baby is not coming out. You have a floating baby. You can have a C-section. And a lot of people don't know that. And ladies, that is the 3 things that doctors tell you. You or her, she is 7 70% -2. That's what that means. The 7 is your dilation. The 70% is your effacement. And the -2 is your station. We need that station to be in the positive. Because when that's the crowning. When the baby, that crowning, that's when your station is so. That's when your station is correct. And that's what we need you to be. So I'm working with you to bring that baby down. We are trained to do, because every exercise does not work for every time. So, like, if you are 4 centimeters dilated, I'm going to do something at 4 that I'm not going to do at 8. Is what I'm saying. So we know different techniques to use at the right time to get
help
your
you
baby.
progress.
Yes.
Yeah, got you.
So we don't like really. Once I come on site, I want that baby out in 5 hours, 5 hours.
Where were you? Where were you?
Yeah.
Where were you? Because I almost think I knew you then. Like, what, you've been pushing these babies. What in the world? Like, could you not have doulas?
But I have been preparing you the whole time. Okay, I've been preparing you the whole time. So, ladies, doulas are not a trend, and that makes me so mad that people want to do it because they think it's the trendy thing to do. It is work. We are on call. Because you never know when you're going into labor unless you have a planned C-section. And then sometimes people go into labor before the C-section. So.
Well, let me ask you this. Because I know that the issue now, okay, especially as it relates to our black and brown people, is a disparity in healthcare coverage and stuff like that or whatever and all. So in terms of having a doula versus a midwife versus a traditional OBGYN doing delivery and all or whatever, how is that impacted based on your insurance coverage?
Okay, so in Virginia, Medicaid pays for doulas, and they pay for midwives. So you could decide, first you got to decide your care plan. Your OBGYN, that's what everyone is used to. They have a different standard of care than midwives do, midwifery. So it just depends on what you actually want. Doulas work with both. Right? But Medicaid covers, they will pay for doulas. Your traditional insurances, some do, some don't. But a lot of people pay out of pocket. But like Birth and Color, we have grants, we have sliding scales to make it. Our mission is to have doulas available for low income people. So it's free. So, sometimes it's free. Sometimes it costs, but it's by individual situation.
So like sliding scales and whatnot as well. Gotcha.
Yep.
But that's what I was wondering. If when you look at the availability, and we were talking about the disparity earlier in terms of who was actually getting the help, it was white women that was privy to this type of treatment of services, should I say? So now you're saying that, of course, that it is available to everyone. It's just a matter of knowing how to. It's just
a matter of knowing how to get it.
How to get the service.
And understanding its importance. Yeah.
It's very important. And I don't know the numbers, but if you look at the statistics, when you bring in a doula, you have better birth outcomes. It's less C-sections. It's the mortality rate lowers. It's just, it has better outcomes. It's much better outcomes.
Yeah, and that's what we need. We need to keep our mothers happy. We need to bring happy babies into this world and everything. And so resources.
Birthandcolor.org. Just look us up. If they want to email me, if they forget Birth of Color, I'm sorry, birthandcolorhamptonroads.org
Okay.
or birthandcolorrva.org because we originated out of Richmond. But
I think this could be important too. Like I'm looking at the different types of women who could really benefit. Of course, all women could.
All women
But
could.
I'm thinking about even like our military families. Like sometimes you don't have people who are able with you. You're not with family, and you need good support. You need people in the room who know you, know your wishes, and will stay there with you and advocate for you. So I can imagine there's a lot of people that could benefit.
Need for military, and we're not military, but they could sign us onto the base to be with them, because that's a huge factor, is that they're here by themselves, and there's a lot of young military people here, and they're like, I just serviced a couple, they're 24, no one's here, so I was that steady base for them, because I'm 45, and everyone's telling me I'm really motherly, and they're like, what we didn't know, like they don't know.
So with the healthcare plans, is it considered like a right or option to include a doula? Because I know with some health plans, they look at the different OBGYN selectives, correct? Don't you have to like select certain things or whatever in order to get the prenatal care that you need and so on and so forth? I just remember my wife back then having to make sure when she found out she was pregnant, it was going right into open enrollment, and I remember having to check some things off now at this point that we
don't have to do as much of that.
Nope.
Now,
you just ask. You just call your insurance, especially like if you have Medicaid, and tell them you want a doula, and they cover it. It's a form that they have to sign. A doula recommendation form that their provider has to sign. We provide them with that form, and they have to fill it out for free.
Okay.
They don't have a choice. Okay.
And so it is a situation where you have to utilize the funds to cover the cost for a certified doula.
And they only cover certified doulas, so it's very important that your doula has certification.
Right.
Because
it's just not your best friend.
No.
Right.
Your road dog.
She's not going to get paid for helping you deliver this baby.
No.
Let's backfill this
I drove her to the hospital.
Okay.
No,
I've been there.
We have to. We have to turn in. We're in that. We're like doctors. We have to turn in notes. Every time I see you, I have to turn that in.
Okay.
We have to follow HIPAA guidelines too.
Okay.
And we have you fill out the HIPAA information as well. I just can't say, hey, you know so and so. Like it could be your best friend.
Right.
I can't tell you about your best friend. Right. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're in some private moment. It don't get any more private.
It does not get more private than that.
The private moments
So
that happen in the birthing
we
room.
can't do that. You notice I never said names.
Right.
That is why, because we are governed. We have to follow HIPAA guidelines as well. So yeah, I have to do the notes.
Yeah, and I said, and that's understandable. And I guess, and I see when you're talking insurance coverage and stuff like that or whatever, they want to make sure that they've documented this stuff because it is a situation where if something goes wrong, they want to know who's all involved, who had something to do with
the liability in this thing.
Yes,
right, exactly.
And we're catching notes from a different angle. We're looking at the notes from the client's angle. So we are writing down this happened at this time. Like we have clocks, we have on the watches. We have to write everything down, and we time this doctor, this nurse, this midwife, this person.
That's good support to have. That was like you.
We have to
the
write
classroom
everything
taking
down.
Notes. Yeah.
I got this.
we
I
have-
got this.
And we have to sign our notes and
That's
upload them.
Yeah.
So because they stand up in the court of law, you know.
So do you all, as a doula, do you have to have like individual malpractice insurance,
Yes, we
anything
do.
like that? Okay,
We do.
All right.
We have doula insurance. We definitely do. We
Okay.
definitely, and you have to have it yourself. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, sir.
So now, if I wanted to be a doula, okay, and folks shaking their head, but I too can be a doula.
yes.
All right.
Shout out to the male doulas. Yes.
Don't be crushing my dreams. All right. But if I wanted to
I'm
be
not
a
even
doula,
looking at this man right now.
you know, is there a school to go to, or you know, how does all of this work?
I'm going to direct you to Birth and Color, RVA.org.
Okay.
And once you, or Birth and Color, HamptonRoads.org. And as soon as that screen pops up, it says become a doula.
Okay.
And we offer classes all through the year. We are all over Virginia, DMV area. So yeah, that's how you can sign up to become a doula. You have to go through the interview process. You have to write an essay because we need to know why you want to become a doula.
I know that's
it's
right.
not a trend.
Right,
It's
right.
work. Okay, it's work.
Yeah,
So-
and what type of person would make a good doula? Like, you know,
Yeah, a patient person for one thing.
do you do personality tests? Do you have to take a personality test to become a doula?
I did not. But you know, as this is getting more out there, now people are having to do different things.
Yeah, I can
And but
imagine.
one of and in that interview process, that's one of the things. Shout out to Kendra Sutton Ill. Okay, she's our director, and she started this doula collective. She interviews everyone. Okay, she interviews everyone, and she says no to people.
Oh.
Yeah.
She says no to people.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, she
Right.
says no. You not getting in. It could be my best friend, and she be like, that's not it.
Well, it's
She doesn't-
you have to treat it as a profession and have standards and things of that nature. So you just can't let anyone walk through the door.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, and I don't want to have our listeners think that I just haphazardly think that it's a trend or anything like that or whatever by saying I want to be a doula. But truthfully, if I wanted to be one, I would have to go through certain certifications and all to become qualified.
Yes, and it's a lot of reading. It's a lot of reading. You are in class, butt in seat, and then afterwards, there's also training via Zoom as well. Off, you know.
Yeah, you have to keep up with
You
your
have to
with
keep
your
up with your
nurse.
training.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and
Now,
that's
do
good.
doulas work with the families after the
Yeah,
babies?
postpartum
come,
is so important. Yes, and postpartum lasts a year, ladies, not just right after the baby. So yes, we
and
are
that's
with
good.
you. Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't get me wrong. I know that you know women visit their OBGYNs for checkups and follow-ups and stuff like that or whatever. But I guess having a doula would help end some of the postpartum depression and stuff like that from
'cause
slipping
we
through the cracks.
We looking at we do depression screenings before
Okay.
and after. And when you go into your doctor, your doctor you might see once a month. Me, you might see 2-3 times a week, and you could call me.
2
You
or
could
3
text
times
me.
a week.
I mean a month. I'm sorry.
month. Oh, I was about to say.
I'm sorry. A month.
Ooh, I could be
No, a month. But it depends.
Yeah,
it
2 or 3
depends
times
on
a month.
It's a month.
Yeah,
But like when my
which
ladies
is almost
get
once a week.
yeah, and especially for me, and all doulas don't do that. But this is my services, okay? Once you get to like 36 weeks, you see me every week because we're out walking on the track. We down at Buckrow Beach. We got to walk this baby out because it's making it easier for you.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm with you. Like,
And then
ladies,
are you
I get a
helping them
workout.
afterwards, learning some of the things about parenting and working with the
Yes.
babies? Because
I'm
everybody does not.
And
know.
I'm working with them to get sleep. Because if you
Oh, you'll watch the baby while
I
they
will
get
watch
some sleep?
the baby while you get some sleep.
Now,
Girl,
that's
take
where we
this
coulda used a
hour.
doula.
Yes.
That's what we
Take
could have
this,
used a
but
doula.
see, but like I said,
People, you can
I'm
get some
working
free
with you.
services out
yes, yes, your insurance
It's the
is
sleep for me.
covering this.
It's the sleep. Take a nap.
Yes. How can you
for
take care of
women
yourself, not sleep?
Right.
Just taking showers or being able to eat hot
Hey,
meals.
we wash.
Or wash.
Yes, I will
anything.
cook for you. I definitely will. Hope you like my cooking.
Listen.
Yes.
I'm not planning on having no more babies. you can come and doula it up, though.
Yes,
Say less.
yes,
Look,
but
you can
that's
pretend I'm pregnant.
we step in for that support that you
But I'ma
taking
need my
care of
bacon.
baby. You focusing on the baby.
Yes.
So yes, I'm good. Yes,
A doula is a beautiful thing.
yes, we are.
Well, this has really been
Yes.
interesting just to give a whole nother perspective in the childbirthing process, because I've heard of doulas before, but just in terms of knowing all of the ins and outs of what they do, this has truly been enlightening, I would say.
It has.
Yeah.
Not our
Yes.
typical conversation, but I thought we would broaden it a little bit into
Yeah, you did.
the things. And you did a good job making it table ready. So it wasn't too bad. We stomached it a little
My
bit.
clients might be like, "Girl, you."
I'm telling you, because I was
Natika just say
concerned.
what it is. Natika just say it. Okay.
I was concerned. Just because it's such a personal topic,
Yes,
you just
it
never
is.
know what's going to happen. But it's been enlightening.
It has been. And so thank you all for joining us at the table today. I am Dr. Richard Mason.
I'm Dr. Tamara Williams,
Thank you for being right here on Smooth 88.1.
the essence of HU.
Keep your fork.
Someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. I think they get on the walls. They get in your wallpaper. They get in your rugs, in your upholstery, in your clothes, and finally into you.
Thank you for joining us at the table.
Tune in next Sunday at 1 p.m. for more delicious topical recipes for life on the Sunday Brunch.
On Smooth 88.1 WHOV.